There is a developing story. In fact, the news is already everywhere. It broke like a few minutes ago about this Nnamdi Kanu case that many people are not happy about. I want you to calm down as we begin to look at it very well in this video. Bad news for Nnamdi Kanu as court refused to hear motion filed by Kanu. There is a motion Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has filed, but Nigerian court under Omotosho has refused to hear that motion. Pay attention. Court refused to hear motions challenging jurisdiction. Nnamdi Kanu's defense team. Nnamdi Kanu's defense team are the ones that came out to say that Nigerian court has refused to hear this motion that Nnamdi Kanu filed. The defense team of leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has raised the alarm over the refusal of the Abuja Federal High Court to hear motions challenging its jurisdiction to prosecute him. Because Nnamdi Kanu's matter is in the Federal High Court. And Nnamdi Kanu is raising a legal challenge that Omotosho and the Federal High Court doesn't even have jurisdiction to challenge him, but Omotosho is refusing to hear that motion. A member of the defense team, Barrister Christopher Chidera, Esquire, raised the alarm in a statement issued on Monday. The defense team asserted that the court's persistent refusal to hear threshold jurisdictional motions in the Nnamdi Kanu's trial is a direct assault on the Constitution and 63 years of binding Supreme Court precedent. That throughout the history of Nigeria, this is the first time that the court is refusing to hear a motion on jurisdiction, because it appears they are doing everything to hold and nail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The defense team asserted that the court's persistent refusal to hear the threshold jurisdictional motions in the Nnamdi Kanu trial is a direct assault on the Constitution of Nigeria and the 63 years of binding Supreme Court precedents. Look at what they said. The Nigerian public, the international community, and all lovers of the rule of law are placed on red alert. This in suit number FHC ABJCR 383-2015, Federal Government versus Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Justice James T. Omotosho has shut his eyes and ears. Omotosho has shut his eyes and ears to two properly filed, duly served, and constitutionally unassailable motions that go to the very root of court jurisdiction. Please, people believe that Omotosho has been bought over. Do you believe it? Do you believe that he has been bought over, or do you believe that he is standing on the right thing? Motion to arrest judgment filed 10 November 2025 brought pursuant to section 259 ACJA 2015 flagship preliminary objection to jurisdiction filed 11 November 2025 raising prosecution under repeal statutes as an ordinary rendition without extradition, double jeopardy, content of the court of appeals 13 October 2022 discharge order, and serious violations of fair hearing. The prosecution has filed zero response in 2 months. That is, the people that are attacking Nnamdi Kanu represented the federal government. In 2 months and 1 full week, respectively, the judge has fixed no date for hearing. Instead, he has repeatedly ruled that all jurisdictional objections must wait until the final written address, a position that is not merely wrong, it is a judicial heresy. Pay attention. This is what Omotosho is doing. You see, why here in Noble Media, we keep pointing these things out because knowledge is power. We must not cover what the darkness happening over there, down there in Nigeria. Citing legal precedents, the defense team noted that motions that concern jurisdiction must be taken first in any trial. You must first ascertain that as a court or as a judge, you have the jurisdiction to oversee or hear a matter. It's not when you have passed judgment and probably the person is eliminated or the person is taken to prison or life imprisonment or whatnot before you can now determine whether you have jurisdiction in the first place. For over 63 years, pay attention. Oh. Please, somebody come under the comment of this video and type, Biafra must never die. Everybody Everybody type Biafra must never die, and also type Tinubu, don't be a coward. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu now. Tinubu, stop being afraid. Release an innocent man now, right now, before it is too late for Nigeria. For over 63 years, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has spoken with a single, uninterrupted, authoritative voice. When jurisdiction is challenged, the court must stop and determine it immediately. Nothing else can lawfully proceed. When your jurisdiction is challenged, you must first of all stop and whatever you are doing to address it. Why is Omotosho refusing to hear that matter? In Modukoli versus in Kembele 1962, the Supreme Court laid the eternal foundation of Nigerian procedural law. Jurisdiction is the root and foundation of adjudication. Without it, every proceeding is a nullity ab initio. Omotosho should know this. Omotosho should, whoever knows him or somebody close to him, copy this link and send. Share it in our WhatsApp group or Facebook group, on YouTube, every platform. The Supreme Court repeated the command with force in AG Lagos State versus Dasumu, 1983. Holding that once jurisdiction is challenged, the court is bound to down tools and resolve the issue before taking any procedural or substantive step. Again, we are pointing these things out. In Okorocha about 2021, the Supreme Court reaffirmed that jurisdiction is to be determined first in time and first in priority, and that trying to defy it is both unconstitutional and procedural incompetent. Similarly, in Consulting versus NNPC, the Supreme Court described jurisdiction as a radical, warning that any attempt to postpone its determination is fatal to the entire proceedings. No wonder Nnamdi Kanu was very angry the last time he was in court. Remember, this is somebody's husband, this is somebody's father that is sacrificing everything, his life, his time for the Biafrans. And yet some of the Southeast governors, some of the Southeast leaders are playing games with the releasing of Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Why are they doing that? Is it that they are afraid? In NDIC, was a CBN 2002, the Court of Appeal went further still, holding that a court cannot lawfully proceed 1 more inch until jurisdiction is resolved, the statement added. According to the defense team, there is an unbroken constitutional principle which stipulated that when the competence of the court or of the charge is challenged, the law imposes an immediate, mandatory, and non-discretionary duty on the judge. It's not left to the judge's discretion to stop and determine the issue. Why it is happening in Nigeria this way? Why Omotosho is not obeying what is already laid out in the Supreme Court precedents and in the Nigerian Constitution? It's now difficult for any well-reasoning person to comprehend what is going on down there in Nigeria. There is no discretion. There is no wait until final address. Justice Omotosho's refusal is therefore not an exercise of discretion. It is a flagrant violation of the supreme law of judicial process, the defense team argued. Pay attention, no? Accusing the prosecution of complicity in the matter, the defense team disclosed that federal government lawyer Chief Adeboyaga Amowolo, senior advocate of Nigeria, and the Federal Minister of Justice were served with the jurisdiction motions on 11th November 2025. 7 days later, there is no counter affidavit, no written address, no attempt to defend the legality of their own charge. This is not negligent. This is a calculated gamble that the court will ignore the law. How can Omotosho's court ignore the law of Nigeria? Is it that the nation is so lawless that they cannot obey their own laws? Please, somebody come under the comment of the video and type, Biafra must never die. Biafra is a spirit, it can never die. This is not negligent. This is a calculated gamble that the court will ignore the law, ignore the motions, and deliver a conviction under a statute that was repealed 3 years ago. The statement said, the court has fixed November 20, 2025 to deliver judgment in Nnamdi Kanu's trial. The defense warned of the consequence of delivering judgment without hearing the motion. Don't forget that very soon, it will be 20th November, And we here in Noble Media, of course, our correspondent is focusing everything happening over there in Nigeria, especially on this Nnamdi Kanu's case. So we will be the first to give you all updates. But beyond that, you must keep praying for Nnamdi Kanu. Very important. You must keep dropping your prayers daily, openly, privately, in your private prayers, whether you are a Christian, Muslim, whether you are traditional, anyone. Pray for Nnamdi Kanu. Then come online, type releasing Nnamdi Kanu, talk about it, share videos like this, copy the link, share on all platforms. It's very important. The court, okay. The statement said, if Justice Omotosho proceeds to judgment without hearing the two pending motions, the judgment will be a certified constitutional nullity. It will be set aside intesta by the Court of Appeal. It will expose the trial judge to disciplinary sanctions by denying fair hearing and pronouncing judgment over silence. It will inflict severe damage on Nigeria's international legal credibility. But does Nigeria have credibility in the eyes of other nations when both Canada, both America, and even some other nations are already labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern? It added that on November 20, 2025, the judge will be faced with two options: obey the Constitution and 63 years of binding Supreme Court authorities by hearing the pending motions, or proceed in defiance of the law and convict a man under a repeal status in attempt of a subsisting Court of Appeal discharge while refusing to hear the defendant. According to the statement, the Nigerian people, the National Judicial Council, the Nigerian Bar Association, the United Nations, the African Commission, and the entire world are watching. The defense team noted that no Nigerian is safe if a court can ignore jurisdiction. See, whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are Yoruba, whether you are Chinese, or whether you are Russian, or whether you are Canadian, American, or Ghanaian, once you see injustice, talk about it. Because it's happening to Nnamdi Kanu now. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. So stand for truth, stand for justice. Pray for Kanu. Do anything in your own little way to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu gains freedom. The defense team noted that no Nigerian is safe if a court can ignore jurisdiction, ignore repealed laws, ignore binding appellate decisions, and ignore the defendants simply because the case is politically sensitive. This is the matter. They are trying everything to cage Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They are trying everything, but you keep supporting him. Share this video, like this video, click on join to become a full member of our channel, and there's another video on the screen. Click on it and watch now.